Hi, I'm Mike Rizzo.
And I'm Michelle Rizzo.
And this is Northwest Brew Talk. Welcome to Northwest Brew Talk, episode number 55. Each and every week, we promote the Washington brewing industry by talking to those people involved in drinking Washington beer. With over 300 breweries, we try to highlight as many as possible every episode. If you're new to the show, we suggest you check out our back catalog with tons of great interviews and lots of Washington beer. This week, we have an interview with Lisa at Ten Pin Brewing, our brew news, and local music from Future Shop.
If you have any comments or questions, send an email over to nwbrewtalk@gmail.com. We are on Twitter at nwbrewtalk and on Facebook at facebook.com/nwbrewtalk. If you like the show and want to support us, why not become a patron? With a donation, we offer everything from guest hosting a show to a copy of our upcoming book, Washington Beer. Head over to nwbrewtalk.com for more details. To start the show, let's open our first beer.
Always our favorite part of the show. This is Pale Hoppy Thing number 4 from Flying Bike.
Flying Bike Cooperative is located in Seattle and is family and dog friendly. They're the first cooperative brewery in Washington. And as Mike said, we are drinking Pale Hoppy Thing tonight. Thank you to head brewer Kevin for gifting this beer to us. It is 6% ABV, 50 IBUs, and has an untapped rating of 3.92.
Yep, this is tonight is Growler night because we stopped at a few breweries on Washington Beer Open House. So this is the first one, and this is pretty light.
Smells pretty hoppy.
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely. It's got a good hoppy smell to it.
Definitely has a hoppy taste.
Oh yeah, it's definitely got the hop bitterness in it. Got a nice head on it. And it is definitely a hoppy thing.
Yeah, it's good.
It's pretty funny. Kevin told me the story that when he first was doing the Pale Hoppy Thing, he didn't know what to call it, so he just wrote that thing. He wrote it down, Pale Hoppy Thing. He wrote it on the fermenter, everything. And then finally, it's like when it came time to name the beer, there it is, Pale Hoppy Thing.
It just worked out that way.
Yeah. It definitely has that bitterness to it, but...
Only 50 IBUs, though, so it's not real high.
No, but it's citrusy.
Mm-hmm.
It's citrusy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that kind of beer, and that one's good. It's probably good with some nice hot something or other.
It's good. I like it.
All right. And now, on to this week's Brew News.
Topping this week's news. This weekend, Dog Brewing in Redmond will be celebrating their first anniversary with a weekend-long party. Friday, February 26th through Sunday the 28th, there will be 20 rotating taps of beer. Each day, the first 50 people in get a prize. Food trucks plus some special beers round out the events. On Saturday, March 5th, No Lie Brew House will be hosting the first Get Lucky Small Batch Festival from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. 6 unique infused and barrel-aged beers will be featured to give everyone a taste of what's to come at No Lie's annual No Boundaries on the River Small Batch in spring. Tickets are $15 and only $250 are available, so get yours now. Saturday, March 5th will be the 5th anniversary party for American Brewing Company. From 1 to 4 p.m., they will have food, and from 2 to 5 p.m. live music. The event takes place from noon to 5. The second annual Vancouver Spring Brew Fest takes place March 18th and 19th at Esler Short Park. They're going to have beer and whiskey as well as food and a free throw contest, and have March Madness on a large screen TV.
There are a lot of beer-related websites and smartphone apps. We use Untapped on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. Hop Plotter is a new app from a 3-person Seattle startup, and we talked with Lauren Cartmel from Hop Plotter. Where did the idea come from?
Alex, my brother, and his girlfriend Anne, and myself. We're all big travelers, the two of them in particular. In fact, they live in Spain right now, but they're big world travelers, and we're all big craft beer folks as well. And we felt like there wasn't really an easy way to see the different craft breweries that were in your area. So that was the original idea for the app. And basically what it lets you do is discover craft breweries right around you, things you may not have known existed right in your own backyard. Or if you're visiting a new city or a new country, you can discover what breweries are around and figure out what their craft brewery scene is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is some aspects of the app?
So the way it works is we have a web app and we have a mobile app. The mobile app is free and it's for iPhones right now, although we're coming out with an Android one later in the spring. And basically there's a map and you can see different little pins, and the yellow ones indicate that a brewery is open and the gray ones indicate that it's closed. And then you can click on the different pins and get more information about the brewery. We have everything from a basic sort of bio of the brewery. We have the different beers that they're offering, different beer scores that we grab from Untapped, which is another app. You can see things like if the brewery is kid-friendly, if it offers food. There are links to the Facebook profile, Twitter, their Yelp rating. So it's kind of everything you needed to know about the brewery you can find in one spot. And then the other aspect of the app is you can actually create a trip. Okay. So if you're doing a day where you want to hop between a couple breweries, you can see what's available to you and then actually plug them into an itinerary and create a little itinerary for your day and get a route that you can use to travel between the different breweries. Wow. And that comes in handy too when you're trying to do a tour at one brewery. Maybe you want to grab lunch at another, so you can see which ones have those offerings and use those to kind of plan out your day. Or if you're doing a cross-country road trip, you could do the same thing. You could do a week-long trip where you want to hit up a bunch of breweries.
Nice.
So yeah, that's kind of how it works in a nutshell.
Okay, so can you pick different things? Like you want all kid-friendly ones. Can you check off things like that?
There are different filters for the map to show just kid-friendly. If you want to show just brew pubs that have food as well, you could use that filter. So there are different ways of seeing, narrowing down exactly what you want.
So you guys have grabbed information from a lot of different places.
We have, yeah. Like I said, we're using Untapped, which is another great app that's really focused on the beer. You can create individual beer scores. You can keep track of what beers you've tasted, share that with your friends. So that's an app that definitely complements our own. And they have a great API that we're able to use to grab some information on the different beers in particular. And then each brewery also has an Untapped score that we display right when you see that pin on the map. That can give you some indication as to the overall quality of the brewery. What was your question again? Coming back to that?
You use a lot of different other apps, so you got
and then
Yelp
we're
and things like that. So,
and then we're also grabbing some information from their Facebook page, like hours of operation. That's where they can specify if they're kid-friendly, if they have parking, even things like their price range. Some of them have all sorts of information there that we're able to grab and bring into our app. And then on the brewery profile pages, there's a little widget that shows their Facebook feed, a widget that shows their Twitter feed, a widget that shows their Yelp score, and you can click those to link out to their different social profiles.
Okay, so this, so I was wondering before we had met, I hadn't really looked into it. So this really is different than a lot of other apps.
It really is, yeah. We really felt like there was nothing out there that was doing what we wanted to do. And yeah, that was the motivation for it, and we've had a great response so far. We're totally bootstrapping it. We haven't put any funding or anything into it, and it's seen a lot of success already. So I think hopefully we're onto something.
Yeah. So what? Where are you getting like Madrid? Where are you getting the breweries from Madrid?
That's a good question.
How are you finding all those?
So Anne has really taken charge of making sure we have a good representation of breweries in the app. And then we also just recently launched a feature where someone can go on and add a brewery, which is great because we just had an article published about us from the UK, and it was an article basically saying, hey, let's get our country on the map for craft brewing, and urging everyone to add their breweries to start building up a presence on the app. So you can definitely take the liberty and add breweries in your own area. But we have been adding a lot of them ourselves, Anne in particular, to kind of get, I think we have 6,000 breweries up on the app right now in North America, South America, Europe, Asia, and Australia, and we're hoping to grow that quite a bit.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have any idea how many there are?
That's a good question. I mean, I would like to say hundreds of thousands. Yeah. I mean, there's got to be a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 4,000 in the U.S. alone. So.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of them out there still.
Yeah, definitely.
But,
and it's been amazing. Like them being in Spain, they've really. There is a craft brewery scene in Spain, and I don't know if I would have realized that. I don't know if many people would have realized that, but these places that you don't necessarily think of as having that type of offering, they definitely do.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said it's available for iPhone now.
It's for iPhone now. We have a web app, so if you go to hopplotter.com, it's hopplotter.com. That's our web app, and that website is also mobile friendly, so you can access the website on your mobile phone. But we do have the iPhone app, which is free in the App Store, and we're hoping to release an Android app in the spring.
So what's the ultimate goal for Hop Plotter?
I mean, I think we would love to turn this into a viable business. Right now, we're really focusing on product quality and making sure it's something people can use and enjoy using, but eventually to look at ways of monetizing it and use it as, a means of living for us. That would be incredible.
Would you look at like advertising or things like that?
Yeah, we haven't looked into it a ton, but advertising, maybe sponsored results on the map, things like that are all options. But I think that's still pretty far down the road for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the one thing you had mentioned, the different color pins.
Yeah.
So is that actually like based off the Facebook hours of operation?
It is.
Okay.
Yep. And I think Facebook is the primary source for our hours. We're also able to look at websites, but I think Facebook is like directly flowing into our app. So yeah, you should be able to see which ones are open in that moment.
All right, cool. Well, thanks very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That was Lauren Cartmel from hopplotter.com. We look forward to testing the Android app when it comes available, and we will talk more about it then, possibly use it over the summer.
The Washington Cask Beer Festival features one-of-a-kind handcrafted cask-conditioned beers from over 40 Washington breweries. To remain true to the spirit of real ale, all beers are conditioned naturally without artificially introducing CO2 into the cask and will be poured by gravity or via a beer engine. Saturday, March 19th, 2 sessions. Seattle Center Exhibition Hall. $40 advance, $45 at the door if still available. Admission includes a commemorative tasting glass and up to 25 beer samples. 21 and older only. Bushnell Craft Brewing Company will be hosting its second anniversary party and pig roast on March 19th, 2016 at the Bushnell Craft Tap Room in Redmond.
And that's it for the Brew News this week.
Welcome back to Northwest Brew Talk. If you want to submit news to Northwest Brew Talk, send us an email to nwbrewtalk@gmail.com. If you've not yet subscribed to our podcast, why not do it now? It's free, available anywhere you listen to podcasts, including iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio. And if you like us, a review or rating would be really appreciated. But make sure to tell your friends about Northwest Brew Talk.
That's right. We are the only podcast dealing with just Washington beers. So that is where we're a little different. We're going to go talk to Lisa Ruff, co-owner of Dog Brewing in Seattle.
Why don't you give us a little background on the brewery and how you guys decided to, and why you decided to start it?
Okay, well, my husband's been brewing since the 80s, and he came over from Germany and wanted to do German-style beers, and there was nothing. And it was really hard to get ingredients, and he realized it was just big systems, and it was just too overwhelming. So he went forward with his career and ended up in IT. And after many stressful years in IT, he got laid off, like so many do. His job went to India, and fortunately, IT is well-paying type of job, so he had put aside some money, and he was stuck with the idea, hey, I can start a brewery. Wanted to do it for many years, and now's the time. And there was actually a program where you could, through unemployment, where you could get paid unemployment for learning the hows and whys of opening your own small business. So
that's good.
I kind of added into it too, and in December of 2013, we I opened in February, but actually, we started the process before that in 2012 with all the TTB and finding a spot and all that kind of thing, and building out from this. This was pretty much just a warehouse space.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we've been open since February of 20.
14.
14.
Right? 14, right? So you're coming on your 2-year anniversary.
Yes, we're coming on a 2-year anniversary. Just coming up on the 11th of February of 2016.
Yeah. We've been trying some of your beers here, and you have, for the most part, brew. And what reason was that?
Oh, there's all kinds of reasons.
Okay.
One of the reasons is that there's a lot of flavor in Belgian yeast, and it's sort of an underrated part of, I think, some American styles is the yeast flavor. Some people actually, some brewers actually don't want any flavor in their yeast. They bring out the other flavors, the hops and the malt. And we actually really enjoy the different fruity and spicy notes that come with the Belgian styles, and feel that there's not as many breweries doing that, so we're kind of educating people at the same time as to the value of yeast. Another part is when you're not as focused on hop-forward beers, you get to taste the malts more, and get a variety of different malt flavors. And we use at least 5 malts in all our beers, as well as a different yeast in each of our beers. And
so 5 different malts in each beer?
Yeah. So it's much more malt forward, as well as you get the different yeast flavors, because there's Abbey yeast, there's Saison yeast, there's Debelle yeast, there's different variety of yeast, and so we do that. The third reason, which is a practical one, is that Belgian yeast is very good with temperature changes, so we don't have to worry about icing it in the summer and heating it up in the winter. So we just use the ambient air. We don't use any other cooling or heating systems on our fermenters. Okay. And last but not least, there's not a lot of people doing Belgians. I mean, people are doing one-offs. They're doing maybe one Saison or one Debelle or one triple, but we are one of the few that pretty much, does pretty much all Belgians. We do have some Germans, and we have a Northwest Pale for the people who are scared of Belgians.
But no IPA?
No IPAs.
Wow. And you get people asking for your IPA?
Not so much. We do actually. It's a little bit of a falsehood. We do have a very light white IPA in the summer, mostly. That's very floral and has Belgian yeast in it, and doesn't bear much resemblance to the IPAs that people, when they say IPA, they love the sucking on the pine tree thing. Yeah. And we find actually that people are appreciating that we are doing something a little different that way, and not focusing on the traditional lineup. Right. And people are, I love my IPA, but there's a lot of people doing it. And so we wanted to, there's a lot of competition in Seattle. There's, I don't know how many, 150 breweries or something, or maybe 200 in Puget Sound. I don't know. Yeah. You probably know better than I do.
There's a lot.
So we, that was another reason to do Belgians, is to get into a little bit of a different niche. And we actually we don't do strict Belgians, so we don't use candy sugar. Okay. We use Pachachilla sugar from local Mexican market. We use the blackberry honey from Silver Bow in Moses Lake. And we try to work with local ingredients whenever possible. So we don't use Pilsner malt. We use two-row and some Eastern Washington malt, as well as I mentioned. We use a Skagit Valley malting company for some malt as well.
So, how did you get started with the Skagit Valley malting?
We actually heard about them a couple of years ago, and we pursued it. We like the idea of local. We do farmers markets, and they're always wanting locally grown ingredients. And we saw their website and they weren't even selling any malt. This was like
Right.
3 years ago or 2.5 years ago, and just kept contacting them, and they invited us up and gave us a tour, and they that particular area of the Skagit Valley apparently is like one of the best grain growing regions in the world.
Yeah.
And for specific, they grow 6-row grain as opposed to 2-row, and very, very nutty flavor, very rich flavor. And apparently they were telling us that most of the malt was kind of malted for Budweiser and the bigger breweries. That's like, volume and, as little malting as possible to get the most amount of volume and money involved in it. And they've built all their own equipment up there. They've built their own malting, and they're constantly working on new grains. And so, yeah, it was fun. We got a tour, and what we do, we have a pint club, and we do experimentals, and so we've done several experimentals with their grain.
Oh, nice.
And we just we made a Potter beer, which is a Belgian single, which is kind of not real well known, but it's what the monks used to drink because it's not as strong, and it's
So they could drink a few.
yeah, they could drink it for sure instead of water. And then we just made a and that's with their Alba grain.
Okay.
And then we just made a Belgian dark strong that was an experimental that was really popular with their Alba as well. And then I am going to be making a experimental Earl Grey Dubel with their grains. Made a dark Dubel or double. Yeah. So.
Nice.
And the Pint Club is we allow people. It's like a mug club, and one of the things is the people that are part of it get to try all our experimentals.
Oh, okay.
And no one else does. So we put it up on the board as Pint Club, and everyone wants it. And we're like, well, you got to buy a membership, but it's only $40 a year.
Oh,
wow.
So it's really reasonable.
Yeah.
And we just opened up the 2016
nice.
season for that.
So you also brew?
Yes, I brew.
Had you brewed
I
previously?
never brewed before. I started home brewing with Eric, and I'm more. He's more the traditionalist, and I'm more the way out style stuff. Like I like to do. Like I did I've done a lemon sage, and I did a wild chamomile, which is you can actually pick on the side of the road, and it tastes just like chamomile. Except I went up to Oxbow Farm. We did a beers made by walking back in the spring in June, and then I made a beer with wild chamomile. It was a wit, and so I tend to do the offbeat stuff, and
Nice.
he's the he makes all the regular beers that we make and
Truer to style.
seasonals and true to style.
Yeah.
I like to add interesting ingredients.
Yeah.
Although he made an apricot Thai basil that was very, very popular. That we're going to have again in the spring.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was popular.
Nice. So, how big is your system here?
We have a very small system. We have a 2-barrel system,
Okay.
and we just have 825 square feet here at the brewery. But our secret weapon is our 8 2-barrel fermenters in our closet there. So we have 16-barrel capacity in our fermenters. So that allows us to keep brewing and racking our beer, so that we can have, potentially 8 different beers of ours on tap at any one time, even though we're only a 2-barrel system.
Right.
We're very community focused, so we don't do any distribution. We go to farmers markets, but that's it. We're not in any bars or anything, and that's one of the reasons is financial. We want to keep our money.
Yeah.
And the other reason is we're very community oriented here, so we have a group of people that come on a regular basis, and it's a destination spot for them. They like the small, intimate nature of the brewery, and they there's a kind of cheers group. People come in here and they're like, how come you know everyone's name? Hey, I want to be a part of this club.
Yeah.
So there's probably 20 or 30 people that come on a regular basis, which how we make our money out of the tap room.
Yeah. So that's one thing. A lot of the newer breweries, the smaller ones, it's kind of like it was, over 100 years ago. It was the local kind of tavern hangout,
Right.
And that's So this is kind of what this is also.
Yeah, it's kind of like the pub atmosphere, your local pub, and we also are dog and kid friendly.
Okay.
We have a toy box for kids, and apple juice. This one kid comes and he says toy box, apple juice, pizza, because we have pizza and empanadas. And we also are, we have dog biscuits, and we have our dog dish, and we have many dogs that come in as well. And we have dog regulars and baby regulars.
Nice.
And people like that. We have a dog, a Malamute, that comes in, Caillou, and howls for his biscuit when he comes in.
He's a regular, huh?
Yeah, he's a regular. Yep.
So what was the first beer that you brewed?
The first beer that I brewed was a stout, actually.
Oh, yeah?
An ancho chili stout. Was
Really?
my first beer that I brewed at home. And then the ancho kind of dropped out a little bit. But I still do make, it's an imperial stout.
Yeah.
That I made up the recipe for.
What style of beer do you prefer?
I like the wits. Yeah, I like the wits, and I like ambers. Yeah, those are the two styles I like to brew probably. And people love ambers. Whenever it says amber, it's like, okay, I'll get it. But it's Belgian amber.
Kind of a safe.
It's Belgian amber, but it's a kind of a crossover because we put the Belgian yeast in it, but we still call it an amber.
Right.
Yeah, and I've made an oaked amber before, which is really good. Yeah, which we have staves of oak.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but what we're planning to do is we're getting a wine barrel from one of the people at the farmers markets.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to do wine barrel aged beer. I don't know what recipe we're going to do yet, but yeah. And I didn't realize how big they were. I'm like, oh, how many can you bring over? And he's like, 1. And I'm like, why? He's like, well, they're 55 gallons. I was like, oh, can't you bring us at least 2? Not really. And besides, look at this place. I mean, we have to kind of clear out the corner over there to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that happens with a few places. They have to move everything around on brew day. But so we're trying a few of your beers here. So why don't we just take a quick run through what we've got here?
Okay. So we've got this Saison. That's the one you're holding right now. And that is our flagship beer. And that is your classic farmhouse, which was made for the farmers to drink back, I don't know how many years, 200, 300 years ago, whatever. It's a classic Belgian style. And it's got a Saison means season, so it's seasonal. We'll see in the summer. Mm-hmm. This one has blackberry honey in it. And it's got a peppery finish to it. It's got Soriachi Ace hops, which are different. Mm-hmm. And it has like I said, we use honey instead of the Belgian candy sugar and the Pilsner malt. So I kind of say it's with all our Belgians, they're kind of Belgian meats, Pacific Northwest. Right. So we use some different hops than they might traditionally use. Like they'd use traditional Hallertau or Tenang, the noble hops more. We tend to think a little outside the box with those.
So did both of you study a lot of the Belgians?
Yeah. We want to go to Belgium and use it as a business success.
I'm
and
sure.
really study the Belgians.
It probably would be.
All right. So that looks like the Winter Imperial. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the next two that you'll be trying will be seasonals. Mm-hmm. The Winter Imperial is a winter Saison. It's 8.2, so that's why the Imperial, higher alcohol. Mm-hmm. And it's more the red amber color for the season, and it's got vanilla and a little bit of cinnamon in it. Mm-hmm. And that's been really popular. And we find that with all breweries, I guess we're learning more and more that the seasonals are really popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, people come in for them. They remember them year after year. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the first time we've done that. I'm sure people will come back. We did an Oktoberfest, Martzen. That was real popular. That we'll probably do and just call it a Martzen later. And then the next one is a pumpkin Saison.
Yeah. And all these beers have a lot of flavor in them.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely.
Yeah. And a lot of that is a lot of malt. We also we do we don't do the single infusion thing. So we really sparge it so that it comes out rich and take a long time sparging. Don't just rush through it. So
a good flavor. Like it tastes like pumpkin.
Yeah. So it's pumpkin, but it's not. People like it because it's not like pumpkin pie, like really rich pumpkin pie. So
Right,
it's real
exactly.
drinkable. It's got. It actually tastes like pumpkin. It's actually real pumpkin. We found out that most pumpkin is actually squash.
Oh, really?
It's actually like butternut, like
really?
something in the butternut squash family that you have in pumpkin pie cans and stuff. So that's real pumpkin. And that one. And we actually instead of starting that in August, we brew it September, towards the end of September.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of pumpkin beers. It seems like they're gone and by the time October comes around.
Before Halloween.
Yeah. So that's and that's the second year we brewed that, and that's real popular. And it's been something that people come back for.
Yeah, definitely.
And last but not least is our black triple. And we actually, we brew that year-round. It's a great dark beer. Some people just like dark beers, and then they're surprised because it's so drinkable, and it's 9.5% alcohol.
Yeah.
So, and that is, the special thing about that is that it's got midnight wheat in it. So, and it's dark wheat, which is unusual to put in a beer. So it's like I call it like a light stout. It's got the coffee and the chocolate notes, but it's not so rich that you're having a sip.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So in the like I mentioned, the saison and the black triple are really our year-round beers and our most popular probably, and then we have the seasonals.
So you find that you have a lot of people coming here because you do Belgians, you do something different?
Yes, definitely. And the
They're
people
not-
that
they're not-
don't know are usually happily surprised. There are the people that are like, screw it, I'm going going down the road to an IPA place.
Yeah.
But I'm finding more and more people are more educated. When we started 2 years ago, no one knew what a saison was.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot of people didn't, and they were calling it Sassoon and Saison, and now people are
It's
more
more popular
into it.
now,
Yeah. At first, there was a lot more education. Now people are like, oh yeah, I love saisons, and I'm going to have this, and they're educated in it. And but we still do a lot of education, and that's why we. One of the things we don't do is we don't do small tasters.
Okay.
And the reason for that is that people were mixing them up. They were not knowing what they were drinking because it's different, and it's not something that people are used to the flavors. And we found that you need more than like 2 sips.
Did you do tasters when you started?
We started with tasters, and it was just not.
Oh, yeah.
And some people don't like that. They come in like, I'm going to have tasters. But what I do is I joke and I say, these are our tasters. These are our 8-ounce tasters. And they're only $3, so they're not that much more than the little ones. And, I tell people, well, just share them. Just get 4 and share them among two or 3 people, and they'll still get the flavors. And,
So, I don't know what that question was, but are there any styles that you haven't done yet that you'd like to pursue?
Well, we want to get more into the barrel aged,
Right.
and especially with different kinds of barrels, like with different kinds of wine barrels, like Chardonnay, and we're doing this one's going to be Pinot barrel.
Okay.
And probably get Erica's planning on doing a kettle soured beer, which is where it's a little different, where you lower the temperature in the brew kettle, and you boil it at a certain temperature, or not boil it, but just keep it at a certain temperature, and then it sours that way, naturally. So we're planning on doing that a little bit more, and of course we're always doing more experimentals. I'd like to do, like I'm doing, more beers with teas in them. So more experimental with teas, with fruits, with more spices, with vegetables and things like that. Get even more into, reaching out into different uncharted territories with ingredients other than just the styles. Yeah, we've done so many different styles. I mean, we've done the Belgian styles. We've done the stout. We've done the Berliner Weiss, and we've done the Hefeweizen, and we've done German styles as well. So, and we have done the IPA, and we have the Northwest Pale. And so we've done stouts, and in terms of the styles, I don't think. I think for me it would be more exploring within the styles, different recipes.
So, what are the teas? What do the flavors of the teas give you?
Okay, so what my idea is with the teas is they have a smoked flavor to them.
Okay.
So I'm wanting to get explore a little bit more with the smoked flavor, and like the I just did one that has lapsang souchong tea in it and rosemary.
Okay.
And I don't know. I'm thinking maybe the rosemary is going to overpower, believe it or not, the lapsang souchong. But the tea, the Chinese tea, has a very smoky flavor to it. So I'm experimenting with, instead of using the smoke ball, using smoke flavored teas to have a different flavor to them. And then I'm going to do like I mentioned, I was going to do an Earl Grey, which has more of a floral flavor to it with the yeast. And then there's a whole bunch of fruit teas.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to the Commons in Portland, and I kind of got the idea from them because they had a smoked Darjeeling Saison. It was really good. So and it's something that, once again, I don't see too often. So I'm thinking, tea series, that would be interesting.
Yeah. So what about vegetables? What kind of vegetables are you looking at? Cucumber?
I haven't really. We were talking about doing a carrot beer.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, like a ginger carrot beer. Yeah. That's as far as we got into the vegetables.
So vegetables.
Eric was talking about vegetables,
and that's as far as it got. So. But yeah, definitely.
I'm definitely into the teas. I'm into the spices. I have a book actually. It's funny because people don't realize how much beer brewing is like cooking.
Right.
And there's so much. I think people limit themselves with just the 4 ingredients. Or whatever.
Right.
And there's so many. We actually have a book that is a spice book that says what spices and what fruits go together and things like that. And I want to look into that more and see, what complementary. Like that's where I came up with the lemon sage. Is lemon and sage go well together? But you don't think of what goes well together. But this book kind of pairs, like for cooking, but you can use it. I'd like to do a fennel beer. That's one of the things I've thought about doing, or anise beer.
Yeah. Tastes like a cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, what is what's the future hold for Tin Dog?
Well, we're coming into our 3rd year, so we're thinking how we want to grow, and we're not like the bigger is better model. Like a lot of places, it's like, okay, let's trash this place and go get a gigantic warehouse come space and gigantic, everything. And we're thinking, well, we really have a great thing here, so we don't want to abandon this place. We're going to always be here. But then we'll probably eventually open a second location.
Okay.
That's down the road. And in the meantime, we're thinking we're going to get really big into the farmers markets, because that's really great, a good way to do PR nearby markets, as well as we have 32-ounce growlers, which is a great way to sell our beer, both here at the tap room and also at the farmers markets.
Right.
And so we're doing that. We're thinking of maybe a growler club. We're thinking of maybe canning for bottle shops. Different ideas.
Yeah.
But just keep it, organically growing and not try to push it and go too far too fast.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Thanks to Lisa for joining us from Tin Dog. And we will be right back after a local music break from Future Shock.
Warning. Suicide smile with the laser eyes. Shotgun pumped fingernails like knives. Girl, you think you're ready for anything. You came in with the heavy artillery, but nothing in your arsenal is fucking with mine. You can pull your weapons out. Go ahead, shoot me down. Right when you turn around, I'll rise up and blow you out the frame, saying far, far away. It's okay, it's okay. My secret weapon, you can far, far away. It's okay, my secret weapon. I see the bulletproof armor with the barbed wire chain. Hard wire with the hot fire pump through your veins. Girl, you're pretty vicious, suited up, out looking for a victim just to shoot and score. I got a little something that'll blow your brain. Pull your weapons out. Go ahead, shoot me down. Right when you turn around, I'll rise up and blow you out the frame, saying far, far away. It's okay. I'll hit you with my secret weapon. You can far, far away. It's okay. I'll hit you with my secret weapon. You can far, far away. It's okay. I'll hit you with my secret weapon. You can far, far away. It's okay. I'll hit you with my secret weapon. Okay. I'll hit you with my secret weapon. You can. I'll hit you with my secret weapon. You can. I'll hit you with my secret weapon. You can. I'll hit you with my secret weapon. You can.
That was Secret Weapon from Future Shock. You can check them out at futureshock.bandcamp.com. If you want to have your music played on Northwest Brew Talk, contact us today. And now, let's try another beer. This time we have Brun from Lantern Brewing. Lantern Brewing is located in Seattle, and their taproom is open Thursday through Sunday. And their Brun is 6.5% ABV, 27 IBUs, with an untapped rating of 3.59. Usually we have a little more detailed descriptions, but both these beers had very little to be found about them.
Yeah, Kevin was supposed to give me some information. I forgot to ask him for it from Flying Bike. That's my fault. But, okay, Brun. It's a little darker than the other one, more of a copper color. And it is got a nice white head on it. It's got a nice scent to it. There's something that you can smell in there, right? Some kind of spice.
Yeah,
or
something. I can't put my finger on what exactly it is.
Well, they do a lot of Belgian and French style beers at Lantern. So
okay, yeah.
This is where Brun fits in. A little different.
Yeah, it's different.
Mm-hmm. This, I think, drinking something like this is kind of like...
definitely really malty.
This goes into like the propolis category.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
Different flavors mixed in there.
Yeah, that's tough. I'm not great at putting my finger on, the different flavors, and my palate needs a little more practice, I think.
I agree. I'm not any better at that myself. But,
we just haven't drank enough beers yet.
well, that's why it was nice when Brandon and Milena were on, because they do know all those things, and that it was really nice listening to them pick out different flavors that we didn't know.
Yeah.
But we're here to do this for fun and to provide some information. But it's got a nice flavor to it. It's different.
Yep, different. Definitely different. I like it. It's good.
Yeah.
I want you to give me fresh beer. You serious? Now!
Our fresh beer this week, or beers, I should say, are from Ten Pin Brewing. Ella, the first of their 2 experimental one-hop wonders, IPA, is now on tap. This IPA features the new Ella hop from Australia. The hop produces a mild bitterness that allows its natural passion fruit and citrus flavors of the hop to shine. Ella is 7.3% ABV and 58 IBUs. The second in their one-hop IPA series is Topaz. This hop also comes from Australia and has a nice balance of resin and honeydew melon flavors. Topaz is 7.4% ABV and 68 IBUs.
All right. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Northwest Brew Talk.
Make sure you tune in next week when we chat with Peter from Populux Brewing.
Great interview, and you should enjoy that one. This show is produced and edited by me with engineering help from Michelle Rizzo.
If you want to contact us, you can email us at nwbrewtalk@gmail.com or on Twitter @nwbrewtalk. Our theme music is from Gilbert Neal at gilbertneal.com.
Until next time, I'm Mike Rizzo.
And I'm Michelle Rizzo.
Stay hoppy, my friends.